California is when we didn't have any water. Now we're just bombarded with so much water. I literally even put a bucket just to collect that water because there was more water than that. So I don't know, just collect some free water and see what happens. So I wanted to come out here and I wanted to explain a dream that I had. I had a dream last month so before I had that dream, I had asked Jesus to let me see him again. And I was expecting for him to come, to come through within 3 days, and he didn't show up. So I just assumed, okay, well, then I can't always just ask for what I want. So I think maybe about a couple weeks passed, and I had this dream. It was in the morning, so prior to waking up, and I had this dream where I was at my grandma's house. Now, here's the thing right now going on. This is where I think it's the enemy. If you guys have been following me, you guys know that I have been going back and forth. Been at my grandmother's for the most part because the Lord had asked me to move, and I did just that. Well, every time I would come back here, this is my kid's dad's home. Every time I would come back here, my car would break down, and then I'm here even longer. It's just so crazy how things actually just happen, in weird ways. So finally, as I just decided to be in contentment, I finally, just enjoyed and loved my grandma's home and being welcomed there, paying rent there, having my kids there, them also loving the place. I just decided, okay, well, I want to renovate the room because it wasn't renovated. And there was like floorboards, so me and my kids were getting eaten alive pretty much by these carpet beetles. I didn't know what they were at first. I thought they were bed bugs, but they weren't. Thank the Lord they were not. But they were carpet beetles, and so they were just tearing us up at night. And so I decided to go ahead and purchase new flooring, and I had did just that. And I had a couple brothers of mine. One had just got married, so he has a wife. They had came back from Oregon, and they had nowhere to go. So they asked my grandmother, and she let them in. Well, from that, she didn't tell me anything until I paid her rent, because I whether there or not, I'm still paying rent. And she let me know after I paid rent, hey, I want you to know that I told them that you're in the middle of renovating, that you're always paying rent to me, so as soon as you come in, they gotta leave. And I was just like, oh, okay. But I thought to myself, I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me, so long story short, they stayed, and that was in December. Now we're in February, and from there, I'm just like, okay, I had a camper, and don't worry, I'll get to the dream. But I had a camper that was just sitting there, and I decided, well, why don't I just give it to them? They can live in that, and I can help them renovate that, which of course that cost more money now. So I lost not only money that I spent on that, but I also lost more money having it renovated, and by an uncle of mine who does awesome jobs at renovating and building and all kinds of stuff that he does. So I paid him for his work. I paid for the materials and everything, and he got it done. My brother and his wife moved in, and then now I have my youngest brother, my baby brother there in my room. And so I'm just like, oh man, I kind of feel obligated to buy him a little camper as well. And I'm like, why am I trying to buy these people out? Like, what's really going on here? Like, you know, what's really happening to this scene, this situation here? Why can't I just freely go to the place that you've asked me to go, to live and to be in, and to just be happy and be content? And why can't I go to that place? Why are there all these hindrances coming my way? And you guys got to understand that I'm about an hour away from my grandma. She's not down the street. As you can see, there's nothing out here. So I just asked Jesus. I said, hey, I just want to see you again. I'm just like bummed out and everything. Pay my grandmother rent. I don't even know why. I'm not even there, so they get free rent. And okay, I'm just venting. So anyway, I just asked the Lord. I said, hey, I want to see you. And he shows up 2 weeks later. And this is how he showed up. So I'm at my grandma's house and I'm like, wow, I'm actually here. Wow. Okay. Like, because who doesn't want to obey the Lord? When you're like, that you're in disobedience, you're at a place that you're not supposed to be, that he stripped you from your peace at that place. And he had put it to the place where he told you to be at, and you can't get there physically, like, I mean, I can go there and I can say, hey, brother, you need to get out, like this is where I'm at. Like, I can do that, but I've been that type where I treat people the way I want to be treated, and I don't know if that's going to be the death of me. I don't know. But, I go to sleep with anxieties because, I am supposed to be in the will of God. And that has been my journey. This kind of journey sucks. So I'm kind of laughing at it, but sometimes all the time I'm just bummed out, but, so anyway, I'm in my dream. I'm at my grandma's house and I'm looking up in the sky, and this is the reason why I came out here, because, oh wow, look at that. There's like an opening there. But it looked just like this, the clouds, everything. It was raining. It would look just like this. And so it was dark and gloomy, and it was raining just like this. And I'm just happy to be in a place where God told me to be. And so there I am. I put like a sleeping bag outside of her porch, and I'm just looking up at the rain, just like this. But it was at her house, and I'm looking up at the rain, and I feel like the drips of water from the rain just falling on my chest. I know that's a symbol. I don't know what that means right now, but one day God will surely tell me what that meant. But there was drops of rain hitting my chest, and I looked down and I saw it, and I was just like, I don't even care. Like, normally I would care. I would move out the way. I would change my shirt. I would get inside. I would get warm, and I just didn't care in my dream. And so I just I didn't pay any more attention to it than I should have, and so I'm looking up, and my kids are always going to be in the mix. Sorry. So again, I'm just looking up, and then I see some, sparks of like just round lit balls, just like popping from the sky, just like coming from the far end, coming like towards my way. And I knew that they were bombs, and I said, this is it for America. Like, I said that to myself in my dream. I said, this is it for America. This is it. America's going down. Like, there was no coming out of that after seeing that. Right now, honestly, I think America still thinks they got it, but once God's hand is off of America or off of anybody, you're going down. It's like Samson. So that's what I saw. And then I was waiting for an explosion to happen as soon as it hit Earth, but it didn't happen like that. And what I realized is that these balls of light had picked up people and taken them to the clouds in the sky that looked just like this. And it was weird because there was an opening just like that, which this opening is closing, but it was an opening. And it was so bizarre. They were going into that opening, and they were being collected by angels. Now, these angels I knew were assigned to these people to take to the clouds. And I was just like watching one after the other, just be taken up. And I'm just like, I started getting worried, but I was still holding on to hope. And I was getting worried. And I was like, okay, like, there has to be somebody for me. And there was no angel coming for me. And I started to get like upset and almost heartbroken and really worried. And the moment I got worried about that, I had looked up, and clear as day, I saw Jesus looking right at me with his beautiful eyes and his white robe and his beautiful golden crown. I've never seen him in a crown before in any of my dreams or visions. Any encounters I've had with him, I've never seen him in a crown. And he just picked me up as light as a feather. And he had, as I'm going up, I just start crying hysterically. I'm just crying and sobbing. I just couldn't believe it. I said, wow, why would you even take me? Like my walk had been so, it had just been so wobbly, like I so many hindrances, so many falls and setbacks and just halts and stops. And it's the journey in my years of walking with Christ had not been perfect, but he sees our hearts. And, when Jesus was asked how many times am I supposed to forgive, from one of his disciples, he said, he's like, 77 times 7 or something like that. And I was like, okay, if Jesus can forgive so much, then he definitely has to forgive us in a way, and so I just kept that to myself, and I'm just like, well, he is a forgiving God. So anyway, I get picked up in the clouds, and he sets me like upright alongside other people, other believers, and they're looking at me as I'm crying, and nobody's crying. They're happy, but they're not crying. And one lady looked at me. She looked like, now I don't know who she is. She was wearing a t-shirt. She looked about maybe in her, I don't know, late 40s. She had black hair. It was short. It was a little bit almost like 80s style, but I don't know. That was just her way of, her hair. I don't know if it was permed. I'm not sure. Very curly. She looked like an Hispanic woman, and she looked at me like, without words. She said to me like, you didn't know that, you belong to him? Or she said something like that, like a question, like, why are you crying? Like, you should know that this was, that this was supposed to happen, like this was going to happen, and you're going to be a part of it, like something like that. And, to that nature is what her eyes to me said. And after we all got collected, I don't know how many of us got collected, we all got we slowly got led down to the earth, and then we started to wash our hands. And I'm still crying. I'm in the line all of a sudden. I'm in the line of people who are washing their hands at a faucet at my grandma's house. And I'm just like crying. And then I wake up, and it's 8 a.m, and I'm like, God, what was that about? What does that mean? Why were we washing our hands? The first thing I wanted to understand was why do we have to get back down to wash our hands? And I'm like, okay, I'm going to grab my Bible, and you're going to tell me. And I just opened my Bible, and I opened my eyes, and I had my finger on a word, and I looked, it said sanctification. And I said, Lord, give me another confirmation if this is true, that, we're going through the sanctification process. And then I opened up the word again, the Bible again, like, I don't know, loads of chapters back. And then it said sanctified. And I said, oh my gosh, like, we're all getting sanctified. I can't say much more than that. This is still fresh in my mind. I'm still praying about it and everything else, but I'm just like, wow, is the Lord giving his children hints like, yes, you belong to me, just trust me. It doesn't look like it now, but it will happen. It will happen because I'm with you, and I keep my promises, and I know that you hate the sin that you are breathing in every day, that you have within you every day. But one day I'm going to change that, give you a glorified body. Like his promises are so amazing. And I do get discouraged. Don't get me wrong, I do get discouraged because I'm still hanging out here. Now, I do have my own separate room. I have been delivered. For anybody who doesn't know me, I have been set free 5 years ago from fornication. I no longer have the desire for any man at all, let alone my children's father. He knows my walk. And as a matter of fact, what blows my mind is he is now reading the Bible. It's so beautiful to see that he is reading his word. He has his own Bible. He's reading the King James, and he is like asking me questions, and we're just like, he's like, oh, well, you're, what are you on? He just wants to know like what chapter I'm on, and he's just getting curious. And I'm telling you guys, for the 6 years of my praying for him, I just see God also working in his life. Jesus is also changing his life. And the things he asks me, he just wants to like get to know who I am. And he's never been like that. I've known this man for a long time, and he has never asked me questions like, when you and your family would go out, would you guys go camping, or, did you guys go fishing? And he didn't care at all about my life. And now all of a sudden he cares. Now all of a sudden he's asking questions. Oh, he wants to know my favorite color. He wants to know what kind of fun things and adventures I like to do. It's different. He's different. And I'm just, man, I cannot give any more glory to God. And I just want to say that somebody who is narcissistic, or shows the tendencies of narcissism, who can really get your brain just going, to being more chill and taking life a little bit more in a brighter perspective. You actually see more color. You see more, you're more, grateful and happy for like just the simple things. It's beautiful, so anyway, it's freezing cold out here, and I'm sure us Californians are big babies when it comes to freezing cold weather, because it's supposed to be getting a little bit warmer these days, and it's clearly not. So I'm gonna head inside. It's pouring rain out here, and I just wanted to show you guys, or let you guys know, how my dream looked like, because these clouds really represent that dream that I had. And I don't know. We'll see what happens, but just know God always has our back. God is always for us. He's always with us. He never left us. He's seen us since we were a baby. He known us before our mother's wombs. It's just, he's amazing. So if you can, please pray for California that we're all safe, if you don't mind, because we're not used to this weather, and we know what the Lord said about, bizarre things happening, catastrophic stuff. My dreams already said it. I'm not blown away. This was a part of my dream, seeing stuff that you're not supposed to really see. And of course, you're going to have mockers and scoffers say, oh, this happens every year. This happens all the time. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. I would be seeing the sun going down by now in February. So anyways, my phone's going to die, and I just want to share that with you guys. You guys have a good night, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.